Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
My name is Ware. I work for Zappos.com and Downtown Project, and right now I'm working on something called Project 100. So Project 100 is a comprehensive transportation system that we've designed to help you get rid of your car and to some degree help you increase your connectivity to the neighborhood. Just last week we finalized an order with Tesla to bring in 100 Model S's to the program. We'll combine those with a bunch of low-range EVs, bikes, and other things into one membership that for around the cost of car ownership every month, you'll be able to essentially have unlimited use to be driven by a driver, to drive yourself, or otherwise connect around town on a bike or other vehicle. We spent a lot of time at Downtown Project thinking about ways to connect different parts of our neighborhood and connect different parts of the city together. Going way back a couple of years, one of the first things we were thinking about is how to increase residential density, and the more we thought about it, the more we were looking for ways to hack that so that we could get the same output of a lot of people on the ground connecting with each other, colliding and doing cool things without having to have the infrastructure of 20 or 30-story buildings that take forever to build and cost a whole lot of money. So we wanted to find a way to equalize the access to the neighborhood for people who live 5 blocks from, let's say, a restaurant or bar with people who live 2 miles away. So we were looking at bike sharing, car sharing, services like Uber and others, and ultimately we wanted to come up with something that was essentially a replacement for your car key. One membership, one application on your phone, one relationship that will allow you to essentially do whatever you need to do, whether it be get from one part of town to the other, get home from a bar, go grocery shopping, or go to LA for the weekend. So use case would be if I live downtown and I want to get to, let's say, to Costco. I basically will open an app, and the app will know where I am and ask me where I want to go. Do I want to go downtown, to the residential zone, to the city, or do I want to get out of the city? And based on the answer to that question, very, very simple question, and the knowledge of where I am, we'll give the member a series of options. You can be picked up within 5 minutes by a driver in a Tesla. You can walk 0.2 miles to a vehicle that you can drive yourself. If you're going to, let's say, we're going somewhere downtown, my options might also be grab a low-range EV to go somewhere downtown, or to grab a bike that's 0.2 miles away. Once I tell the app what I want, either the driver will be paid to come get me, or it'll give me directions on how to get to the vehicle I'm going to drive myself. We basically split Las Vegas into four zones. Downtown is the residential area, which is about 2 miles from downtown, roughly, and then the larger city, which in Las Vegas is easy to define because it stops at a very abrupt moment, and then the outer zone, which is basically everything that's outside of the city. And so one of the reasons we need to know, for example, that you're leaving Las Vegas is if we were to just offer you a list of cars and Tesla was on that list and you're like, yeah, I definitely want to drive a Model S, you would find quickly on your way to Salt Lake City that you have nowhere to charge the Tesla. So we have to know to some degree where you want to go so we can offer you the right vehicle for that use. We're essentially aiming to be the replacement for your car. And we don't want to put our members in a position to have to decide when they're on their way out of the door, which one of these services do I need to engage right now? Which one of these is the right use for this thing that I'm doing? Or to some degree, we don't want people to take a car downtown driving themselves, go to a bar, have a few drinks, and then kind of be stranded and not able to get home. So we'd like for that one relationship to be the thing that replaces your car key. The process of buying 100 Teslas, we've been working on this project for a couple of years, but really pulled it all together a couple of months ago, and it was kind of a eureka moment. Tony and I were talking about ways to bring bike sharing into a car sharing system and so forth, and all of a sudden we looked at potentially acquiring a car service, and it just dawned on us we should do all this at the same time and put it all together. A couple of days later, he was at a conference I ran into Elon Musk and sent me a message right after that saying, why don't we just do it with 100 Teslas? And the more we thought about it, the more we realized how great that would be to sort of set a standard for what a vehicle system should be over the long term. And we set about on a course for the next month or so to figure out how to buy 100 Teslas. And I have to tell you that the process of getting the way Tesla works, we literally placed the order this last Friday, and through the course of the day received 100 individual email confirmations of our order, just like you would if you bought like a t-shirt from Zappos one at a time. So it was really interesting to see those come in over the course of the day. But that's been kind of the coolest part of the process is getting to know their engineering team and and, you know, their project team, and having that relationship up front is just amazing. It's very easy, to some degree. You could buy 100 vehicles, 100 Toyota Corollas, and you could park them in parking spaces and say that's where they live. Every time you buy an electric vehicle, you have to charge it. When you buy 100 electric vehicles, you have to change the way power is fed to a parking garage. You can't necessarily park cars around the city very easily without having a way to plug them in. So to our members and to the larger community, it's going to appear very simple, but we've been spending lots of time over the last few months figuring out how to power all of these vehicles. The entire system, with the exception of things like an SUV for a hiking trip, will be electric. So between the Teslas and the low-range EVs like Polaris Gems and Nissan Leafs and so forth, every vehicle in our system will be electric, because we think that's the right thing to do. That is probably our biggest challenge right now, is developing the infrastructure to support those vehicles. Equally as large as the technology. We have to know where every vehicle is, what its charging status is, where it needs to go when it's returned, how to get a member picked up within 5 minutes. If we're building a system based on guarantees, we have to be able to meet those guarantees. So how can we guarantee that a member who's way on the edge of town can be picked up in 20 minutes? How do we know that there are going to be enough drivers on the road ready to help them out? Where do cars need to be? Where do bikes need to be? The technology behind this is gigantic, and we've spent quite a bit of time on it, and we're going to spend a lot more, but those two are our biggest challenges. We think the actual buying of the cars, it turned out that took about 2 days. That wasn't terribly hard, but the next year is going to be all about building the systems and infrastructure to support it.